Hi, I'm Miro, and welcome back to Driftwood. So last time I fucked up because I noticed that my microphone wasn't on. Essentially, the other day I uh, what's the word? I don't remember the word. I removed the microphone, yeah, and when I put it back, the Bandicam didn't recognize it, so it disabled it. So yeah, I didn't notice until I finished recording. So yeah, last time I talked for 41 minutes, all for nothing. Yeah. So last time we met May and Yuko, the first girls. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be one of the girls I'm chasing after. And yeah, also Elric and Jay, which are Matt's friends. I guess we're Matt's friends as well? I don't know. Well, now we proceed on to getting to class. Yeah, let's go. Oh, I have to turn down the volume. Okay. She gestures me to follow as we begin the journey up the hallway laced with bookcases. The hallway isn't actually as endless as I thought, and there are plenty of smaller rooms and hallways that seem to branch out from each corner. We stop in a small room filled with small banks and tables, along with a large bulletin board. Yuko turns to face me once more. This is the common room. This is where a lot of people hang out and do homework within classes and such. Wait right here, I'll go get Mr. Mallard. I nod in agreement, although I'm not really sure why we don't just walk in together and let me introduce myself. Holy shit! That's Mr. Mallard? Wow! Yuko reappears a few seconds later with a new figure standing beside her, a quizzical look on his face. He's tall, lanky, blonde-haired guy with a silly-looking shirt that has flowers on it. Here he is. I extend my hand with a smile. Marcus Fick. He offers me a friendly smile and reaches out to the truth with both of his hands, clasping them around my own before giving it a firm shake up and down. I made this joke in the last part too, but yeah, microphone off. Fuck. Kind of a weird handshake, but it could be worse. Pleasure to meet you, Marcus. I'm Mr. Mallard, your homeroom and social science teacher. Wait, the first teacher we meet is the science teacher? That's just like in Kotawa Shoujo. Conspiracy. Weren't you supposed to have met him when he checked in yesterday? You'll be surprised to know the school's faculty actually has a really hard time getting their things together. Okay. Mallard offers a casual grin as if his statement was some kind of joke. And he jokes like the nurse from Katawa Shoujo. Oh, more and more references. Yeah. I'm sorry I wasn't informed you were here earlier, otherwise I would have made an appearance. It's alright, just happy to be here. He approves of my spirit towards the situation, rewarding me with the same grin he had just given Yuko. Glad to hear it. I hope you're looking forward to a year filled with learning plenty of socially sciencey stuff. I nod my head instinctively, but look to Yuko for her opinion on what my answer should really be. She should know whether or not the classes for each teacher are any good or not. Yuko gives me a quick wink and bows her head, slipping into Mr. Mallard's homeroom. So, how do you like it so far? It's different, but so far so good. A lot of interesting people. He chuckles and gives me a thumbs up. If you're looking for interesting, you come to the right place, my friend. I can't believe this guy is a professor. A teacher, I mean. Not a professor. It's weird. He looks young. He looks like a student. I look older than him. Mallard lifts his arm up and then glances down at the watch wrapped around his wrist. Well, class is about to start in a few minutes, so come on in. Don't want to keep the eager learners from glooming, do we? He gestures towards the door, open it completely to allow me to step inside. While his use of language is odd, to say the least, I'm rather excited to have a teacher that actually seems to care about what they teach. More people! I'm greeted by the sight of the homeroom students, most gazing up in Mr. Mallard's and on my own and my own direction. The classroom itself really isn't that big, nor is it populated very densely. At least no one is a cripple here. Yuko is in the front of the room, a paper in one hand and a marker in the other. No one else in the class really catches my immediate attention, aside from a kid in a wheelchair and the person in the very corner of the room, nearest to the last window. Oh hey, I just said there weren't any cripples. Oh, I'm sorry. Fuck. She looks almost worried or scared that I'm here. Everyone, this is Marcus Fick, the new student from Boston. Try your best not to scare him too much. Mr. Mallard's attitude towards the whole situation of my transfer is refreshing, making it more of a joke than a big deal. Being new isn't really my favorite thing. Last thing I want is to be treated special just because I'm new. I just raise my hand and offer a wave to the class. Hey. And I say, hey, 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 hey. Shut up. The small classroom responds in unison towards me, with a decent number of greetings, ranging from simple hellos to waves. I'm going to go grab some coffee. I'll be back in a bit when we start class. You have this time to finish any homework you didn't bother finishing last night. Yuko takes a seat down near the front of the room, and I shadow her action, taking a seat beside her and setting my stuff down beneath the table. She leans in and murmurs under her breath as Mr. Mallard steps out of the classroom. If you have any questions during class, write them down and show me. Mallard gets irritated when people talk during his lectures. She pulls out a few pages of paper from a notebook and slides them across the table to me along with a pen. Will do. Yuko goes on about shuffling through her organized belongings, leaving me to look around the room. Elric has managed to fall asleep in the small time Mara's been gone, his face resting against the desk, body hunched over. It's really hard to fall asleep in class. I only made it once. Unfortunately, I didn't get caught because, yeah, you know, there was chaos in that class when I did it, so I had my chance. He even seems to be drooling a small bit. A few minutes pass and Mallard eventually makes it back to the room with his coffee, which is set down on the table Yuko and I are sitting at. Mallard has positioned himself up the front of the class, looking over everyone with an investigative look. This must be Mr. Mallard's method of seeing how many people are actually paying attention. The sound of snoring catches my attention. I glance over my shoulder to see that Elric is still snoozing. I hear a quiet tap noise in front of me and I focus back to Mr. Mallard. His other hand is near his face, a finger over his lips, telling me and the other students to stay silent as he passes our table and throws his thoughts towards Elric. As he approaches Elric, the whole class falls completely silent, watching in curiosity. Mallard reaches into his pocket as he stands beside the blonde-haired student, who has decided class would be a good time to catch up on his sleeping. He deftly pulls out a black marker pen and squats down to get on the same eye level as Elric. I lean slowly over to Yuko, whispering as silently as I can. What is he doing? His usual punishment for Elric falling asleep. My eyes dart back to watch Mr. Mallard dexterously and gently press the pen to the area of skin between Elric's nose and lips. The marker scribbles quickly and forcefully, getting a good amount of ink onto Elric's philtrum before the smell and touch of wet felt tip starts to wake him. Draw a penis on his face! Elric stares, only to lunge upwards in shock as he realizes he had fallen asleep. Ah, shit! Mr. Mallard quickly pulls away, hiding the marker in his back pocket as he looks over Elric with a theatrical scowl. Sleeping in class again, Elric? Fuck, sorry, that won't happen again. The whole class is silent, albeit trying to contain their laughter. Good, can I start class now? The class finally breaks into a small laugh and giggles, and I can't help but grin a bit. Yeah, sorry. Elric's oblivious. I feel kind of bad for him in a way, but I guess Mr. Mallard doesn't take kindly to people slacking. It's a good first lesson from his class. Mr. Mallard strides back up to the front of the room. A small but entertaining grin lingers on his lips as he paces to and fro in front of the board. It's kind of obvious he's doing his best to hold back a laugh, but Elric probably wouldn't catch on to that. After a few steps he begins his class. Alright, we'll start where we left off last week. His lecture is slow to start as he gathers his thoughts. I don't even know what he's talking about for the first few minutes. It's kind of just incoherent rambling, to be honest. But at least it sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Eventually he puts his loose points together and constructs a pensive lecture filled with cultural and political commentary on the related subjects, mostly having to do with renewable energy. Usually the topic would be boring, but Mr. Mallard does a good job of making it interesting as well as inclusive, pointing at people and asking them what they think on the subject or how they feel about his personal opinions. It gets to the point where he's pointed at almost everyone, and because of this, I've been able to sample each person's voice in an attempt to remember all the pitches and tones, along with their ideologies. Although the person nearest to the back window is yet to be called on. The class moves along steadily, and before I realize it, the lecture, which was apparently nearly 3 hours long, is already finished. Okay, let me tell you a thing. A lecture can be fun, but you cannot spend 3 hours and not know that 3 hours has passed. I mean, it's fucking 3 hours. Do you know how long 3 hours are? It's a pretty long time. Even when I have fun, I notice when 3 hours pass. When I play a video game, for example, I notice that 3 hours pass. How can you not realize it in a lecture? How fun can it be? Never mind. Which means it's lunchtime. Most of the students immediately rush out of the room as if they were starving or running from a monster. Can't blame them, I'd be hungry too if I wasn't so interested in what Mallard was speaking about. Mallard returns to the back of the room and plops down at his desk to relax. Yuko turns to me as she collects her items. Would you like to get lunch? Sure thing, just give me a second. I collect my own things and make my way to Mr. Mallard's desk, offering him my hand out of gratitude for his class. Thanks for the lecture, it was a lot better than what I'm used to. He glances up from his computer and smiles, taking my hand and giving it a firm shake. Glad to hear that, you are a better listener than what I'm used to. We share a chuckle and his laugh slowly drains into a painful, annoyed sigh. Just don't end up like Elric, or I'll do the same to you. No mercy, even if you're new. I can't tell he's half joking because of his tone, but his eyes cut through me like a knife. His point is pretty clear, don't dick around. Understood, it won't happen. The intimidating glare of his eyes diminishes back into the jockey-friendly look they had at the start of the class. Stay out of trouble, Marcus. Good first class. Hope your day goes well. Will do. Thanks. As I turn to leave, I spot the figure who was sitting nearest to Mallard's desk during class. Holy shit, she's so cute. She's fidgeting and she collects her things, awkwardly stumbling over her own hands. Eventually, she stands up from the chair and turns. Our gazes connect with it, which makes her freeze in place. Her eyes are a celadon jade color, with a serenity that looks suddenly disturbed by the stare we share. Eye contact lasts no longer than a second as she's out of the room. Anako? Remaining uncalled on for today's class, indefinitely. I am perturbed by the minuscule action of us looking at one another, but I feel almost guilty as if I had terrified her, or offended her or something. Yuko gently pats my shoulder and gives my side a little nudge, apparently having witnessed the brief exchange. She's shy, it wasn't you. Alright. It is only a little reassuring. Hopefully I don't have to deal with more awkward encounters like that. I can figure a deal out later. For now though, it's time to eat. Outside is a little less hot compared to yesterday's sun shower. Sunny with a cool breeze and a slight overcast blocking out the sun every now and then. Elric, Yuko and myself sit at the table eating our lunch. The food is delicious and actually cooked. Much better than anything I've had at my old school, not to mention the line was tiny compared to my old school. Baked chicken with rice and green beans. It's simple, but it still tastes like gourmet cooking compared to half-raw cheeseburger using meat paste like I'm used to. Elric is stuffing his face, still having no idea about the drawing literally right under his nose. Yuko and I decided it's best for him to figure it out on his own, but it's hard to look at him without laughing or making a comment. So, man, you gonna eat your rice? I was going to, yeah. Damn, what about you, Yuko? If you really want, you can have the rest of it. I'm not that hungry today. Yuko takes a few more bites before scooting her tray over towards Elric, who bite his weight as a stupid grin on his face. You have to burp. Okay. Elric eagerly pours the contents of what had been on Yuko's tray into the containers atop his own. Thanks, I'm so hungry. While I stab a few green beans with my plastic fork, Yuko turns to look at me. Self-consciously, I pause with the fork a few inches from my lips. Being watched while eating is a little odd. What's up? Nothing, I'm just looking at you. Sorry. Yuko laughs, attempting to give my left shoulder a small pat. Instinctively, I put myself away, too accustomed to protect my left side from bumping into things for the past few months due to the incident. Yuko raises her eyebrows slightly at my reaction, pursing her lips in thought. Sorry. Elric chuckles from across the table, his little toothbrush mustache remaining in place, accompanied by the new addition of rice kernels scattered along his mouth. Oh, so he drew a mustache. They didn't really specify before. Ah, it's a jumpy one. Yuko nods her head, agreeing with Eric's description. Oh hey, Yuko, by the way, when are we gonna start planning for Harvest Fest? Within the next few days. Right now the school is setting up the very basics of it all, although I feel like we should have done that when school first started a few weeks ago. And Elric perks his eyes curiously towards Yuko, as if expecting something special like a treat to be tossed his way. Clean up after yourself, will you? Dismayed by Yuko's comment, he quickly nods and rubs his face with the palm of his hand, brushing away the rice and food scraps. The mustache remains, however, and the two of us can't help but laugh. Alright, well, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Mind taking our trays when you're at it? Eric looks sternly to Yuko for a moment. Please? He sighs before breaking down and grabbing all of our lunch trays. Alright, fine. Only cause Marcus is new. Yuko smiles, leaning against the table with her elbows, facetiously fluttering her eyelashes at Eric. Thank you, Eric. Yuko prolongs her words in a teasing manner as Eric just rolls his eye and takes off with her trays. I can't read fast, apparently. I don't know how many words I fucked up until now. I take the moment to gaze out across the open expanse of the school's campus. There are clusters of kids walking about, even some teachers are enjoying the partially warm day. Mr. Malad is at the table a good distance away sitting with Jay and a few kids I don't know. The idea of having a friendly relationship like that with a teacher is a little strange. It's like the staff of the school is on the same playing field as the students, at least out of class. The food is tasty, the people are friendly, and the setting is pleasant. Today seems nice, just as long as Matt doesn't break into my room again. I think I like it here after all. I'm interrupted from my daydreaming, however, when I spot the girl who was in a Cresslas period. Another close-up. Nice. I can't read. Why did they make it white on a fucking light blue background? Her hair is jet black like Yuko's, but not really as long, but it does curl very faintly in an inward direction at the tips. She has a very smooth face with no blemishes on it, although her cheeks are flushed to a soft pink as if constantly embarrassed. Wow, that's an anime girl, alright. The most striking thing about her, however, is the lack of pigment to the rest of their skin. She looks as pale as a ghost. She passes by quickly, making her way nervously toward the pathway to the domes. I turn to look back at Yuko, who is looking at me with a contemplative face. After a moment of silence and her just looking at me, I can't help but make a comment. Just looking at me again? She blinks, realizing what she was doing, and laughs a bit, shaking her head. Yeah, sorry, I was just examining. That sounds even creepier than just looking at me. She smirks, entertained by the fact that I think examining me is strange. She stands up and sets her hands at her hips. You know, if you have any questions about anything regarding the school, you're welcome to ask me. I know everyone here like the back of my hand, except for you. She pouts slightly. That's what I'm looking at you for. I got to memorize your looks and get to know you. Well, I just offer a casual smile and think for a moment what I would really want to know about. The dark-haired girl who walked by seems interesting, but I've also got no clue what my next class is. The thing Elric mentioned is also a good filler for conversation. What is a harvest fest anyways? Does this school have a garden or something? Ask about the harvest festival, ask about the girl in a sweatshirt, and what's the next class? I'm gonna ask about the festival. I don't want to be left behind too much on the daily events, even if I am a few weeks late. What's the Harvest Fest? Yuko beams excitedly towards me. Oh, you weren't told? Well, I guess that makes sense. It's not that big a deal to a lot of the faculty. She frowns at the end of her sentence and just shakes her head disapprovingly. Sorry, anyways, getting to the point. Yuko takes in a deep breath before going on a tangent. The Harvest Festival is a once-a-year event that takes place here as a way for the high school students to show thanks to the families and residents of the island. I can't believe I read that fast. So, during this festival we put up little stands and we set up a carnival and let the kids play games and win prizes, like toys or belongings that we no longer need and would throw away. Kind of like a thrift shop or charity event. It's just a fun little thing the school does to keep its high schoolers busy for a day and to give local families something to do to let their kids have fun. Ha, that's cute, kind of like a community day or something. Hugo smiles happily at me, understanding. Exactly. Elric returns looking pissed off, the marker mustache rubbed away. Seriously, why didn't you guys tell me? I remain silent, not wanting to step on any toes. I look to Yuko with the hopes she'll be able to bail us out on this one. Yuko returns the look reassuringly and smiles before switching her focus to Elric. Elric, you know better than to sleep in class. Mr. Maladin was only trying to teach you a lesson. You could have at least told me after. I've been walking around like this all day. We could have, but then you wouldn't have learned your lesson. Sorry? Elric takes in a deep breath and sighs, shaking his head in dismay. Fine. But if you guys don't back me up again, I'm gonna be really pissed. Sorry, dude. He glances at me and stares for a long moment before his tense look fades and he gives me a regretful sigh. There was no me in that sentence. It's cool, man. Mr. Mallet got me pretty good, though. Huh? Pretty good. Elric gives me... Fuck, why did I keep saying me? Elric gives in to a light-hearted chuckle. He got me good, alright. I'll have to get them back somehow. It's class time again, and the sound of people buzzing about in the halls fills the school. It's like a beehive with how little the main hall is. But luckily, Yuko is around to lead me down the hallway to the conjunction of the 3 rooms. Our English class is in the room to the right of Mr. Mallard's. Ah, okay, that's easy. Excuse me, Marcus, could I have a word? Mr. Mallard stands in front of his door, gesturing me over as he opens it and offers me to enter first. Oh, sure. Sure you can. Once inside, Mr. Mallard turns to me with a casual smile. How are things? First day going well? Oh, of course, everything is great. Good, I just wanted to compliment you on your behavior. You're the first student to ever give me a handshake after a lecture. Oh, I figured it was the least I could do for making the first class so interesting. I rubbed the back of my neck, stretching the muscles of my left arm as I saw small paintings up my spine. Mala seems to notice my discomfort from the action and purses his lips. Just so you're aware, some of the teachers don't know what happened to you during your junior year in Boston. Really now, I told my mother specifically not to tell the school because I didn't want to be treated differently due to the events that spring. I suppose it does make sense they should know. The school does have my medical history in case of allergies and stuff. Oh my. I'll keep it on down low. I know it's not something you probably want to talk to people about. He nods his head and hands me a folder with my name on it. The nurse doesn't actually show around very often, but inside is a list of phone numbers in case you need any of the faculty. And in regards to your wound, I suggest that you don't do anything strenuous just yet, so don't try and pitch for a baseball team or anything. Thanks, I appreciate not telling everyone. I don't plan on becoming the next Pedro Martinez. Who the fuck is Pedro Martinez? Mr. Mallard smirked slightly at my joke. I didn't get it though. Ah, never mind. I like you, Marcus. You should fit in here just fine. He turns and sits down at his desk, letting out a soft sigh and peering at the clock on his computer before making a broom motion with his hand. Now scram, you'll be late for your second class. Alright, thanks. I leave his room, glancing at the folder he gave me as I slowly approach the door of the English room. My hand wraps around the handle of the door and I give it a light push, but instead the door swings open. Because of my grip on the handle, I'm tugged forward into the room and I trip. Hey! A blur of color fills my eyes as I fall, and when I lift my head I come face to face with a strawberry blonde-haired guy with a bright and emerald eyes. The two of us just stared at one another for a second or so before I realized I got my hands on it at either side of her body. The green eyes that peer back up at me are surprised at first, probably because they don't recognize who I am. And probably because I'm on top of her. Shit. It doesn't take long for her to get angry and shove me off of her. Whoa, she's so small! Oh my god. There's a lull in this game. Who are you? Marcus, I'm a transfer student. Please, Tary, in front office. I was going until this kid tried to molest... Until this kid tried molesting me. I scrambled to grab my things and stand back up, looking towards Elizabeth and then back toward the girl in an attempt to explain myself. It was a mistake, I tripped. Sorry. The girl just stares at me and I can't help but look her over. She has long, almost mangy looking blondish brown hair, green eyes, and nothing in the height department. Maybe standing close to 5 feet, if that. A mistake? You fell on top of me. Front office, now. The brown-haired girl just makes a sour expression before pushing me past me without another word. Well, I know who I'm gonna go after now. Have a seat wherever you want, Marcus. I'm sorry for her behavior. It's alright. I find Yugo and sit down beside her, letting out a very relieved sigh. That was Taryn. She grins and peers out of the door that Taryn had just departed from. Taryn Tary-afying. Why? Yuko just leans back in her seat and settles her hands down on top of the table, stretching. She's a bit of a... Her voice fades out slowly as she's having a hard time finding the word she was going to use, only to murmur under her breath so that only I can hear her. A bitch. She nods confidently, then sits back uprighter in her chair, looking to Elizabeth with a contented smile. That's only a little subtle. Well, she is. She's proven it many times herself. She did seem like a bit of a harpy, but I'm sure if attacked to her outside of class she might not be so hostile. Elizabeth comes out, cleaning her throat. As I was saying, unfortunately Felicia has come down with the flu, so I'll be taking a position as the English and language art teacher until she recovers. I hit the keyboard, by the way, that was the noise you heard. Any questions? The room is silent. Perfect. She's left me with the assignment of letting you all free read or write for an hour, and I will be having a small... Yes. We'll be having a small discussion about character development. Oh my god. The class quickly goes to work with writing on laptops or on paper, others flipping through books or scrolling down tablets. The whole class has some form of branded electronic product, and I feel a little left out not having anything aside from a phone. Yuko slides a book to me along the table and whispers under her breath. If you want to read, it's a good one. It was assigned as summer reading, but most of the class didn't bother doing it. I still enjoyed it though. I nod my head in thanks and... What's this noise? Oh, my alarm clock. I forgot to turn it off. Just a second, guys. Fuck. I forgot I had an auto clicker on. Let me... No! Okay, I'll be back. So yeah, I had an auto clicker on and the button to make it active is the same button that I used to pause the recording. So I fucked it up a bit. Anyway. I nod my head in thanks, and because I have nothing better to do, I start to read, even though reading books has always been a trouble for me. Honestly, I just have a phobia of large blocks of text. Yeah, don't tell me. If you know what I mean. I'm reading a fucking visual novel. If only people wrote in fragmented sentences. Maybe then someone could write a story about me that I could actually read. Oh man, nice joke there! Haha! The class goes by a lot slower than I would have liked, and Elizabeth is far from as good as a teacher as Mr. Mallard, even if he's just a sub. What's more painful is how my schedule is set up. I only have 2 or 3 classes a day, but they're all excessively long. I guess this school is about focus and productivity towards only a few things a day. Luckily, the book Hugo gave me is at least a little interesting. I have to burp again. It's the fucking third burp in this video, I'm sorry. Luckily, the book Hugo gave me is at least a little interesting. It's about a man looking for a teacher for some reason, but instead he finds an ape inside an apartment building that can speak telepathically to people. Arambe! Sorry. That meme is dead. I hope. The author sure had to be doped up on some crazy stuff to come up with that. you don't even know. Hugo Sands gives me back a... What? Gives my back a pat on the rather dark class discussion about characters is finished. Hey, it was nice meeting you today. Hopefully we'll bump into one another tomorrow. Ah, alright. Thanks for looking out for me today, Yuko. No problem. I'll stick around, but I got to go and help a friend of mine with some homework that's due by tomorrow morning. All good. Did you want this back? I nod my head in thanks and offer her back the book she lent me for class. She pushes it back towards me, smiling. Keep it. I know you liked it. You didn't look up from it once. And with that, she's gone. Luckily, has plopped himself down in Hugo's seat, smiling smugly. So, how about I kick your butt in some video games to make up for you not telling me about my Hitler stash? And it was a Hitler stash too, oh my. What? You know, you should describe it the first moment you use it. I mean, you just at the beginning you just said the Mr. Mala drew something on his face. You never specified it was a mustache, let alone a Hitler stash. Why do you wait to tell things? God damn it. I blinked at the suggestion, but I got nothing else planned. I was sort of worried I'd be spending the rest of my day up in my room doing nothing. Sure, bring it on. I grinned back, irritated by my competitive attitude. Sweet, me and Jay will be back at home base. See you there. Harry hops up just as quickly as he had sat down and saunters out of the room, leaving only me and Elizabeth. I figure it's not worth trying to talk to her. She looks frustrated and exhausted, so I just give her a friendly goodbye and leave the room. I've always wondered how much of a living hell it is to be a substitute teacher. You get kids pulling pranks on you, not obey your commands, or just generally giving you shit. Outside, I found Tary standing on the deck area of the school's entrance. Unsure of how to really make up for our previous encounter, I decided apologizing would probably be the best option. Hey, sorry about earlier, lost my balance when you tugged the door open. She gives me the same sour look, like I'm a giant lemon wedge creature here to be fouler day. It's fine. What exactly were you getting kicked out for anyways? The sour look on her face fades as she looks at me now with curiosity, as if baffled that I cared. I didn't do the summer reading. Is that it? Seems a little harsh. The sour look returns to her face as she grumbles slow so only I can hear. Well, Elizabeth is a cunt, so it doesn't really matter anyways. I'm not sure what to make of that comment, but it's probably a clue as to why she got kicked out. That's why she didn't read it. Okay. I'm actually enjoying the book enough to defend it a bit. It's an interesting read to say the least. Well, why not just read it? It's not half bad. I read a few pages during class. It's about a freaking monkey who talks to people with his brainwaves. It's a little bit far-fetched, sure, but it's entertaining. Tany just looks at me for a moment and sighs, shaking her head. Whatever, I'm not reading a book about monkeys who are telepathic. I think it has a deeper meaning, but suit yourself. She seems left unguarded by my last remark, perhaps not expecting it. It's probably best I get going. Eric and Jake would be waiting. Sorry for bothering you. I'm nearly falling on top of you. It's okay. I'm Tary, by the way. I nod my hand and smile. Hugo's time to describe Tary comes back to mind. I think even if I gave her the benefit of the doubt, she will still fill the role nicely. So I heard. You give one hell of a first impression, that's for sure. She just raises an eyebrow and watches me suspiciously before letting out a small breath of air from her lips. I try. You should give the book a try. Anyways, it was nice meeting you. Yeah, you too, smartass. It's funny, her being so short and harmless looking, but having such an angsty and defensive personality to contrast her looks. I guess they balance one another out. I offer a small grin before turning and making my way down the front steps, venturing back towards the dorms. See ya. Okay, it's been 40 minutes, so I'm gonna call this a part. This was a nice part. The developer could do a much better work with the script. You know, the descriptions aren't really the best out there. It's pretty average. I mean, it's a free game, so it's good. For a free game, this is very good. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next part. Goodbye.